Hi folks, this is number 29 on page 113. So here they want us to determine the unknowns a, b, and c so that this quadratic function has the following characteristics. Okay, it has to have x-intercepts of 0, 0, and 8, 0, and the slope of the tangent has to be 16 when x is equal to 2. Now one thing here you'll notice is that we're looking for three unknowns and they have to give us three pieces of information. Okay, so we're going to start to see as we solve more and more of these problems that the number of, the amount of information given that's needed is going to depend on how many variables you have to solve for. Okay, in this case here, three variables, you need three pieces of information. So let's start with the first one here. So if this has an x-intercept of 0, 0, so that means that when y is 0, x will also be 0, and I think we know what that's going to give us. Sorry, 0 squared plus b times 0, okay, plus c, and of course that just tells us that the c value is equal to 0. Okay, which we should have known because we know that this just represents the y-intercept, and so 0, 0 here is not only an x-intercept but also the y-intercept. Okay, so we've got one of our variables done. So now, if I use the second x-intercept, so that tells me that when y is 0, x can be equal to 8. So here we have a times 8 squared plus b times 8 plus c, but c we already found was equal to 0, so no need to write that down. So we've got here that 0 is equal to 64a plus 8b. Okay, so here we notice we have an equation but with two unknowns, so that's why we need an extra piece of information. Okay, to set up a system we can solve. So they tell us that the slope of the tangent is 16 when x is equal to 2. But of course we know that the slope of the tangent is related to the derivative. Okay, so let me find the derivative of this function. Okay, so that's just equal to, well, a is just a constant, so a times 2x is just 2ax, plus b again is just a constant, so b times the derivative of x, which is just 1, okay, is b. Okay, and of course we know that c is 0 anyways, but even if we were taking the derivative of it, it would give us 0. Okay, but now we know that when x is equal to 2, the slope of the tangent is 16. So the derivative is going to be equal to 16 when the x value is equal to 2. Okay, and what we have here now is a second equation. So this is just going to be 4a plus b. Okay, and now we can solve this by elimination or substitution. Okay, so here, just to make things a little easier, why don't I just divide both sides of this equation by 8? Okay, so here 0 divided by 8 obviously is 0, so here we've got 8a plus b. Okay, and now I think what I'll do is I'll just take this over here and solve by elimination. So 0 equals 8a plus b. Subtract these two equations, so I got 16 equals 4 minus 8 is negative 4a, and the b's cancel out, so a is just equal to 16 over negative 4, negative 4, and there we go. And now let's determine our b value. Okay, so I'll take this equation here, so I've got 0 equals 8 times a, which is negative 4, okay, plus b. So b is just equal to, bring this negative 32 to the other side, just equal to 32. Okay, and there you have it. We have our three unknowns. Okay, so what I did here to solve this problem is I just used each piece of information one at a time. This first one allowed me to get c right off the bat. Okay, and the second and third pieces of information allowed me to write two equations in the unknowns a and b, and then from there I was just able to solve